Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year. This is video 268. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Thank you for being here with me. Today I wanted to talk about a few of the affirmations that I've been using lately that have really been helping me stay on track and hold to the vision I have for myself this year. So I wanted to kind of pass these along and talk about them a little bit and also talk about people pleasing. If you're a people pleaser, stay tuned because I had a few sessions today with a few people pleasers, and I am a recovering people pleaser. So I kind of know how to shift out of that, and I wanted to share a few little tips on that. So this year, I decided to glow more than I've ever glowed in my life. And in order to do that, we have to make sure that our minds are off of chaos and into creation mode. So one of my affirmations is to remind myself that I cannot build peace while consuming chaos. So that's another goal of mine, is to build peace this year. And so I've never felt more at peace than I have over the last few months. And it takes a lot of focused effort to decide. I want to be this new identity. I want to let go of these old stories. I want to let go of the addiction to my old way of thinking in order to become this new person. And they say that we can only perceive what we are the vibration of. So that means that if we're on a lower vibration, we're feeling powerless, or we're feeling upset or sad or angry, or any of those lower vibration feelings. They're not bad, they're just lower vibe. When we're down there, we can't perceive what's up there. So we've got to get up there and in order to perceive it. And hey, I'll link below if you want to join my email list. I've done this multiple times, but I have Abraham Hicks' emotional guidance scale. And please check your spam folders, because apparently I've had a few people not receive the scale, and I want you guys to get these emails. So check your spam if you sign up. Just sign up for the email list and then I'll send it to you. So, but it basically helps you identify, what vibe you're on, what emotion you're on, and then kind of how to get up the scale to joy, acceptance, love, which is at the top of the scale. And it changes your whole frequency. So we want to make sure we are at a high vibration so we can perceive solutions to problems. We can start manifesting a lot easier. And just my whole thing is quality of life. We want a good quality of life. That's the main goal that I want for everybody and for myself too. So I cannot build peace while consuming chaos. So that means we've got to watch what we're feeding our minds every single day, all day. I practice this all throughout the day. I watch on purpose. I kind of observe myself and I kind of sit back and I'm like, okay, when I have a free second, I'm like, where does my mind go? What's the first thing it wants to check? Because we check all day. We're like checking our phones, checking the email, checking, I work on the laptop, so I'm often on that and the phone during the day, talking to clients, all of that. So for me, it's normal to be on that stuff. But I have lots of extra stuff I'm doing right now. So I'm like, okay, where does my mind go? So really watch your mind and make sure you're not consuming chaos, which might mean, looking at some of the stuff that's going on in the world that might bring you down, because we want to make sure that we are high vibration. So our number one job is that we feel good. We've got to remember this, because if you feel good, then you're going to attract and create your life from intention, instead of just letting things happen. And then our mind is up and down, our mood is up and down, and it feels like a roller coaster type of life. That is nowhere near something I'm interested in whatsoever. So watch what you're consuming. So if it's chaotic, then we've got to cut that out so we feel better, because you can't build peace in that, right? So we got to remember that one. And then I say, I cannot leak my energy. These are kind of rules, not affirmations, but I cannot leak my energy on anything or anyone that does not serve the future I'm building. So decide what kind of future you're going to build and make sure you're not leaking your energy out on needless things that are unnecessary. That could mean anything to you. I'm big on not leaking your energy on, people that can't hear you, people that don't understand you and you're trying to make them understand, and all these things, and all the social media stuff, whatever that might be for you. Just anything that is leaking your energy, watch out for those things. Really observe yourself, pay attention to what you're thinking. And another one is, in order to level up, I have to think differently in certain areas. So that's kind of a duh, like we've got to, in order to go up a level or 10 levels, wherever you want to get to, you can't think from the same mind that got you where you're at right now. So that's what Einstein said too. We can't solve problems with the same brain that created the problems. So we've got to think differently. And you've got to decide, where do I need to think differently? Where might I have thoughts or beliefs that don't align with where I'm headed? And also, another one, the last one is, if I change, other things will change too, but I've got to change first. So it starts with changing your internal landscape first, and then watching the external shift. So we create everything from the identity that we're living in. So I'm really big on all day just observing myself and intentionally doing, like I did another 15-minute meditation today. Just threw that in the middle of the day. It was awesome. I pretty much almost I was nodding my head. I was almost falling asleep sitting up, but it was crazy. I was awake but dreaming. It was very, very interesting. So if you do things like that, where you just set an intention, hey, I'm going to sit here for 10 minutes and I'm going to visualize a scene of having what it is that I want, and then feeling the feeling of having it, just intentionally saying, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to try this out, and just start doing that every day and see what happens. Because it is crazy what happens. I've done this so many times and things have just showed up out of nowhere. Well, not really out of nowhere, but it's so interesting to just live with intention instead of letting the day happen. But taking those pockets of time, it might be a minute, it might be 2 minutes, whatever it is that you have. And then just oh, I got hair in my nose. Something, cat hair, something. You just kind of just decide hey, I'm going to do something different today. And I'm going to see what happens. Play with it, have fun with it. You never know what's going to happen. I love doing that. Just every day I'm I wonder what's going to happen if I do this every day, and start thinking this way instead of the way I thought yesterday about this. So we've got to build up our self-concepts too. And that's another thing to the people pleasers out there. I used to be a people pleaser. There went my phone. Used to be a people pleaser. And that is not a good place to be. That is just not a good place to be. And really what I had to learn, that when we are being a people pleaser, we're actually being controlling. We're actually controlling the other people around us in a way. And that is because we're trying to manage somebody else's emotions. And we're basically saying, you are too weak to hear what I have to say. So I've got to manage this so you don't overreact. And we're already assuming that they will overreact, probably because they have before. They've told us something that we don't want to hear, or we just know that they're gonna take it personally or something like that. So remember, it's not about the other person. My point to this is, we've got to figure out, am I respecting myself by putting myself last? Because whenever we're trying to please somebody else, we are costing, there's a cost to everything that we do. Every behavior has a cost. So basically, if we're saying yes where we want to say no, then we become resentful of that person, and we also become resentful of ourselves. We can be mad at ourselves. We're also saying, I'm not worthy or good enough to put myself first. I've got to put this other person first. They're more important. So that's kind of you're telling your mind, this person is more important than me. So I want you guys to watch out for that. If you have a habit of kind of doing this with people. I talked to more than one person today about that. And it was a younger person, and I love talking to younger people about this, because I'm you are 2 decades ahead of me. You are going to be ahead of the world if you can master yourself and master these skills and practice putting yourself first. No is a complete sentence, just saying no. And this person was yeah, I have this friend that, I'll ask if they want to hang out, and they're no, I don't feel like it. And they're well, is there a reason why? I just feel like staying home. And they were I really admire this person for being like that. And I'm you can be that too. just have to be honest. I don't feel like doing that, or you just say no. So those are the things that when we are able to put ourselves first, and you got to ask yourself, like, am I going to respect myself if I say no, or if I say yes when I don't want to say yes? What am I saying no to? And you're saying no to yourself. And if you say no to yourself over and over again, you're going to start believing your self-concept is going to be that of a person who says no to themselves and says yes to everybody else. And remember, we are going to be creating our life and perceiving our lives from that self-concept. So we've got to direct our thoughts where we want them to go about, regarding ourselves. And we've got to decide that we are worthy. We have to practice these things. They are not taught to us. Normally in childhood, we have some things that are said to us, done to us. We never get past those thought patterns unless we have done it by choice, and we've maybe processed some of that trauma and all the things that have gone on, the drama and trauma of all of that. Like, there's so much, but you got to remember that everything that you're thinking from the past is just practiced and it's programmed, and you can change it at any time that you want to. That's the only reason you're a people pleaser, is because, first of all, you're labeling yourself as such. So we've got to change the label, right? We've got to figure out, okay, I don't like that label. I'm not a people pleaser. I am just somebody who is having trouble saying no to people. I learned to not say no. I didn't know that I could say no. That was one, I had to admit that. I didn't know that I could say no. I wasn't given the option as a child to ever say no to anything. I didn't think I could. I didn't think it was an option. So when you're an adult, it's an option. You can definitely say no. So, and remember, yes, the whole, what is this costing me by saying yes? It's costing me self-respect. It's costing me my self-care. Maybe somebody invites you out and you're like, sure, I'll go. And then that was going to be your night of peace. And you didn't keep your boundary, so, and I don't like the word boundary, actually. I just say, like, what are your rules for life? Like, what are the rules that you want to live by? What works best for you? And you decide what those are and you stick with that. And so if somebody, like, I've had people ask me, hey, can you hang out, and have coffee in the morning? And I'm like, nope, my mornings are protected. Like, they're just for me. And this is just the way that I do things. I don't start seeing clients till noon. I'm awake. I'm ready to talk to people at noon. Before that, I'm kind of like doing other stuff. I might be running errands or going to the chiropractor or whatever I want to do that day. So I start at noon. That's just me. That's how I've created my life. That's when clients are awake too. And that's just what's happened over the last 12 years. So of me practicing therapy. So things just, things can be any way that you want them to be. Just have to remember that everything is programmed into you. That's the old self. We're addicted to the way that we've always thought. So and if you're thinking the same thoughts that you've always thought, you're going to get what you always got. So remember that. You don't want to have the same stuff. So you've got to think differently, and you've got to be aware of where your thoughts are going during the day. So once you practice this over and over again, you'll get better and better and better at it. And one more thing I'll leave you with is, I say this a lot, like, I don't want to think like anybody else. You want to think like you. You do not want to think like anybody else, because a lot of people are not, very happy. And that's why I wanted to start this channel too. I want to teach people how to be happy. I want to teach people how to properly think for themselves and not think how the world has programmed them. And when you think for yourself, then you start to feel more joy and you start to feel more peace and all the good feelings and the higher vibe feelings. And that's when you're going to notice a huge shift in yourself and what happens externally. So we'll keep talking. If any of you are a people pleaser, we'll label it right now as people pleaser, or a recovering people pleaser, let me know below. And let me know if there's any topics that you guys want me to touch on. That would be awesome, because I'm just going to keep talking and rambling about things that I just love to talk about, of course. But if you guys have any specifics, let me know and we'll talk about it. And yeah, I think I'll leave you with that. I could go on, but yeah, just get over the habit of being your old self. We got to remember that we're addicted to the way that we've always thought. And I just don't want to think like anybody else. I want to think like myself. And there's power in that. So remember your power. You've got it. And it's there in you. We've all got it. We just forgot it. So we've got to remember it. So I'm here as your reminder. And remember, you're so loved. Pass that on to anybody who needs to hear that today or tonight. And remember to appreciate yourself, because what you appreciate appreciates. And please like, share, and subscribe if you'd like to. I'd love to have you. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.